back. As I mentioned, we have Dr. Ashraf Ahmad here, who is here on behalf of Harvard Eye Associates, and he's brand new to the practice. Well, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Lisa.
So how long have you been out here with Harvard Eye?
Yeah, so actually, I'm originally from the Midwest. That's where I did the bulk of my training, actually. And I've just been in Orange County for about 1.5 years now.
Wow. So what lured you out here?
Fellowship training, actually. So I did my internship at the Cleveland Clinic, and then I did my residency in ophthalmology at Case Western Reserve.
Okay.
And then came out here, fortunately, for my fellowship in cornea, cataract, and refractive surgery at UC Irvine.
Oh, gotcha. And you just never left.
Never left. I knew from the moment I got here, I'm staying.
Of course, of course. Who wouldn't, right?
Yes.
I mean, compared to some of the Midwest weather, you certainly can't be
yes.
here. Well, that's excellent. So why did you specialize in this particular area?
Well, I found that I can really make a huge impact on patients' lives, specifically in this. And during training, I knew that my favorite thing to do was cataract surgery.
Wow.
And so that was the draw, and I stuck with it.
Yeah, well, it seems like most of us will end up with a cataract or two, and it seems likely that you will be in business for quite some time.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, cataracts are sort of this inevitable thing that we all get from having more birthdays, and that's just sort of the natural progression.
Now, is it also something that, can being exposed to sun also contribute?
Absolutely, absolutely. Aging, sun, and there's a lot of other risk factors, but most commonly, those are the two.
Okay, well, you have some slides for us, so let's take a look at that. Now, basically, you are talking to us a little bit about what a cataract is and how it develops.
Yeah, so if we take a look at the first photo there, actually, that's showing you the normal anatomy. And so behind the colored part of the eye, you have this clear lens. Over time, that clear lens becomes cloudy, and that's what we call a cataract.
Okay. All right, perfect. And then the next slide then talks to us about what some of the phases are.
Yes, and so because this change can be so gradual, oftentimes patient may not even notice that they're having visual decline or symptoms, but for those that do notice symptoms, typically they're going to complain of glare, halos, trouble driving at night. Oftentimes they'll come from their optometry offices where they were told, we can't really correct your vision beyond what it is right now with glasses because of the cataract. And so that's when people start to sort of think about, maybe I should have cataract surgery now.
Wow. Well, and then on the right, you have different sources of light, which is, interesting because it starts small and then it just sort of spreads.
Yeah, and these are more apparent typically at night. So if you're driving and you're looking at the oncoming cars and you're looking at their headlights, you may see some halos or starbursts, which is consistent with a cataract.
Well, what else would cause that? I mean, because I don't think I have a cataract, and sometimes I see those little starbursts.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So fluctuation in your dry eye can cause that as well, and that's probably the leading cause.
Gotcha. Got it. Okay, good. So the next one now talks about an implant.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this is just looking at standard cataract surgery. Essentially what we do is we go into the eye, we remove the cloudy lens, and we replace it with a brand new clear lens. Wow. And that's true for any cataract surgery.
Okay, and what is that lens made of?
Most of them are acrylic. Some of them can be silicone or PMMA, but the majority of lenses that we're using nowadays are acrylic.
And how often does the eye ever reject that?
No. So
it doesn't.
Yeah, once we put an implant in, we want to keep it in there. There are some reasons why we go in there and remove it or replace it, but for the majority of patients, once we do it once, we leave it in there.
Okay. Now, I have talked several times to Dr. Hovannessian, and he talks all about, how the implant has like this little arm or a leg or whatever you call it. So in this next slide, it sort of shows, what do those little, what do you call those?
Those are called haptics.
Okay.
They're basically the arms coming off of the lens, and that's how the lens gets its stability so that it's not moving around inside the eye.
Isn't that amazing? Do they do that? They don't do that for cataracts, not cataract, LASIK, right?
No, LASIK, we're not even going inside the eye.
It's just the laser on the eye itself.
On the surface of the eye.
No lens, okay.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Okay, then here's another one which I think is really interesting, is the light adjustable lens. So what does that do?
Yeah, so actually that's what I was really excited to talk to you about today. And so if we kind of backtrack a little bit in terms of traditional cataract surgery, when we put a lens in the eye, we can't really change that prescription after the fact.
Okay.
And so if a patient wanted a little bit more near vision in one eye or a little bit more distance vision in one eye, we can't really do that without any surgical intervention. And so With the light adjustable lens, this is a brand new technology which offers us that flexibility. And so for patients who are looking to really fine tune and hone in on their best vision, we can actually offer that after the fact. And so this is the first of its kind implant where we can make adjustments after we've implanted the lens in the eye.
Of course, I'm looking at this thinking, oh, wait, great, your eyes can actually have permanent sunglasses. Because it says, UV light exposure, and I'm thinking, oh, well, no, but that's not that at all.
No, that's not that at all. No,
okay.
no. So the way that we change the prescription to give you what you're desiring in terms of visual outcomes is we apply this UV exposure, UV light in the clinic.
Okay, got
And so that's the way that we change the shape of the lens to give you your outcomes.
Isn't that interesting? So the actual implant that you'd use, did you say you would have had cataract surgery and then you can come back?
Correct.
And you can have it adjusted with this particular lens
With
only?
the light adjustable lens only.
I see.
Yes.
And how long has that been out?
That's been out for a couple of years now.
Okay.
It's been becoming more mainstream because patients are absolutely loving it.
Wow, that's great. Does insurance cover this one?
Unfortunately
Of course not.
Anytime we're talking about custom vision, insurance kind of takes a back seat.
Yeah.
But for patients who are really looking for certain advantages, for example, really honing in on the vision that they want, astigmatism correction is sort of built in with this lens as well, and so that's an additional advantage.
Okay.
And for patients who are kind of wanting to trial out a little bit of range in between the two eyes for after surgery, this is a great option.
That's pretty cool that you can do the astigmatism correction.
Yes.
Because normally when you have just cataract surgery, you definitely can't
With the
fix
basic
that, right?
lens, which is covered by insurance, it won't correct astigmatism. But with this lens, you get a pretty decent amount of astigmatism correction.
So would that mean then if you have cataract surgery, you would still need some sort of glasses because of the astigmatism?
Potentially. We can never say we're going to be glasses free, but this does give us the ability to try to minimize your need for glasses in the postoperative period.
Okay, and here's where the sunglasses come in, is what to expect after surgery.
Yeah. So basically, for any lens, the surgery is the same. We're not really making any changes there. But for the light adjustable lens, the only differences that come into play are after surgery. And so what that means for the patient is because the technology in the lens depends on UV exposure, we don't want any extraneous UV exposure, for example, from the sun. And so for about 4 to 6 weeks after surgery, we want you wearing sunglasses to make sure there's no uncontrolled UV exposure that's going to affect the outcome of that lens.
Right.
And then once you've had your treatments done and your lens locked in, then you're free to go from the glasses perspective, from the sunglasses.
That is great. That's good stuff. Now, I know you said you've only been there a few months, or about how long? A few months or a year?
With Harvard Eye, actually just since August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
But we did a ton of these in fellowship.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, they already have you doing surgery at Harvard Eye now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
for
piece
sure.
of cake.
Yeah.
In and out. Well, that's awesome. Anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, I'm just really excited to be here. I'm really excited to be, providing care to patients in Orange County, and I look forward to seeing everybody.
All right, perfect. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. If you want more information about Harvard Eye, you can certainly get in touch with them at the number that's on your screen, or you can go to harvardeye.com. We'll be right back.